Having an amazing morning, and hopefully you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
Carlos, I am doing great. A little nervous heading into my big bike ride this weekend, and I am totally unprepared. I was just reading the notes earlier this morning about how you should prepare for your ride, and they talked about, all the stuff you would expect, right? Practice biking, similar distances, bike 2 days in a row, make sure that you're ready. I have done none of that. I've literally put my ass to the seat once this year. This is Monday. You just wait. Either I will be doing this standing up or or lying in a bed. I'm not sure which. So
it'll come down to cramping, right? If you don't cramp, you're fine. I've done 80 miles with a lot of climbing. And even after training for it, if you have a lot of climbing, you're done. There's just no way you could do it. But if it's not much climbing,
right.
They got a lot of hills over here, you'll be fine, man. You're in shape. You go pickleballing every now and then, so you'll be okay. But good luck to you, man. All the best.
I love pickleball, but come on, it is not really that heavy of an exercise. Yeah. Let's be honest.
I'm trying to be positive, make you feel good, but yeah, you're
all right. I appreciate that. But anyways, we'll see how it goes. Don't worry, I am stubborn enough that I will get through it. But I don't expect it to be fun. And if we add rain onto it, which the forecast is calling for, that's just going to make me grumpy on top of being in pain. So we'll see how it goes. Anyways. But excitement overnight. What's everybody talking about? It's only GME. Earlier this week, what were we talking about? NVIDIA, right? It was NVIDIA. Now we've moved back to GME. And what the heck is happening this week? Things are just going crazy. I mean, overnight, hit a high. I don't know if we got a chart there of it, but overnight it hit a high of like $69, 60 something.
67. Yeah.
67. Yeah, it was in there somewhere. And it's just, it's just ridiculousness. I mean, really. And now it's back below the close where it was yesterday. So, welcome to the craziness of GME. And we'll talk about that in more detail about why and what happened a little bit later. We should start with some economic numbers because they did just come out, and I'm losing all my screens here. 1 second. Hold on. There it is. The economic numbers that came out this morning. We were waiting on this unemployment report, and it looks like the market has taken a dip in response to it because the we'll start with what are today's numbers here. The employment rate was actually slightly higher. 3.9% was the forecast. 4% is what it came out at. Maybe the bigger number is that the non-farm payrolls, though, while the unemployment rate went up slightly, the non-farm payrolls actually increased significantly over forecast. The expectation was for 182,000 new jobs. The U.S. economy produced 272,000 new jobs, while the private non-farm payrolls was also up a similar margin. 170 was the estimate, 229 was the actual. So we're seeing more jobs in the economy overall, despite slightly more people being unemployed. So that shows for a strong economy, which is not what the market wants to see, right? The market actually wants to see a weaker economy because a cooling in the economy will mean that the Fed would be more likely to reduce interest rates, which is good for business overall. And we can see the market dropping as a response to that. So that's really the big number for today. Now, a little bit later this morning, we do have wholesale inventories coming out at 10. Probably not going to be a massive market impact again, usually a minor thing. And then at 3 o'clock, a little odd for a Friday, but 3 o'clock, we do have the consumer credit number. Once again, not a big market impact. However, volumes are usually low on Friday afternoons. And that means that the consumer credit might have a little more impact, but I'm not holding my breath on that. I really think that really what's going to happen today is We're going to see some. Well, we'll see. We may see some positioning on Nvidia. Nvidia's in this weird spot today, right, where the apparently it's everybody that was a shareholder of record as of the close yesterday will get the 10-for-1 split, but it only hits the market as of Monday, which means what happens today if you sell a long-term holding in Nvidia? I'm not sure. But anyways, I think Nvidia will continue to see a little bit of movement. It's sitting below $1,200 right now. Probably still in play. Probably going to be a little bit of fun. So, but anyways, we'll talk about stocks in a second. I'll let Carlos do the gappers list, and then we'll talk about other stuff that I'm watching.
All right, excellent, Peter. Okay, friends, look at our gappers list this morning. Only 2 gapping up today, and the rest is gapping down. GameStop, AMC, and other ones included on here on the way down. So overall market, as you mentioned, it's still dropping here. Let's see how that looks in about 15 minutes. Is that going to hold, or are we going to get a bounce here like we usually tend to do? So we'll see. All right, leading the way this morning on the gap up, BCDA. So we'll take a look at that. BCDA right now, we are up 19%, and that's after dropping from the pre-market highs quite a bit. So still up this morning. Daily chart looks horrible. Looks like they don't get a whole lot of volume today. They got 4.6 million. So this is more volume than they normally get. So that looks pretty nice there. Peter, any news on this? BioCardia is the company.
Well, as you could guess, when it's a biotech like this, it's usually some sort of treatment or drug announcement. And in this case, yes, they announced that they had a patent issued on their intramyocardial delivery of cell aggregates to the heart, including minimally invasive radial artery approach. Of course, I know exactly what I said, and that makes perfect sense. And actually, I have no clue what I just said. But anyways, they had a new patent on a treatment process, which is why they jumped up. Probably not going to be a great trader today, though.
Yeah, well, I don't like it either here, so we'll leave that one alone. Let me Control X, clean up our watch list from yesterday, although some of those names are going to clearly be coming back to this list here today, but we'll clean this up if we can. If it allows us to. Control X. That's so weird sometimes. Let's delete here, and we'll delete here. Perfect. Yeah. All right. AMC just go red. I thought this thing was just down. Why is it gapping up?
Something's going on there. Why is AMC? Whoa, that's weird.
And it's back away now. Yeah, that was weird. That was probably some
now
kind
it's
of error.
on the gap down list again. I saw it on the gap up list, Carlos. You're not going crazy. I saw it there myself, and I was confused.
Good.
I don't know what's going on.
I was like, what's going on there? All right, the other one on here is going to be Lyft. So again, Lyft got some good news yesterday. They're riding off that pop yesterday, gapped up. This sell off, gapping up a little bit more today, 3%. 707,000 shares traded. So again, I think the action was yesterday, and it traded really good yesterday. Like yesterday was definitely the day after the market open. You can see a beautiful drop here, heading back towards 1570. Today, slightly higher, less volume. Peter, do we have a second play here today, or do you think that this is just gonna hang out and not do much?
Yeah, there's nothing new really. I mean, it's good news that they have increased their long-term forecast, their guidance. So that's positive, but that was yesterday's news. So really, it's just a second-day play today. Really surprised at the sell-off on Lyft because as you see yesterday, look at the big red candle, but it gapped up significantly and then sold off almost back to where it had been on Wednesday. So today is probably going to be what we call an inside day, which means that the price action will probably within the candle, within the range of yesterday's price action. That's sort of my anticipation. So I don't think Lyft is going to be great. It's not a garbage can worthy, but it's probably not going to be an awesome trader today.
Yeah. All right, we'll leave it alone, guys. I don't like it that much this morning. Let's look at what's capping down. There's more action happening there. Starting with our good buddy GameStop. My goodness, down 19% this morning. 38 million shares traded, and obviously all the hype on GameStop today, Peter. So much to talk about this going on this morning. What do you have on deck?
Look, this feels a lot like the kid that gets overexcited Christmas morning. So excited with all the presents under the tree, tears into all the presents just to realize the thing that they wanted most is not there. And despite all the other toys they have, They're desperately disappointed. GME went crazy last night, like we were talking earlier, up to $67, presumably in anticipation of earnings. But come on, I mean, I don't know. This doesn't feel like a surprise to me. We know that the underlying business is not really that robust. Like, we can get all as enthusiastic as we want about the stock, but it doesn't mean the business is doing well, right? They seem to be very different things for GME these days. And, the news came out that they missed their quarterly numbers. They're very silent on forecast, which, when your stock's doing this, why would you bother releasing a forecast, right? You don't even have to give guidance. Who cares? The guidance seems to be irrelevant to your price action, right? So, what do you want? I mean, GME went from $20 in a few days up to $67, and now it's back to $37. They're still sitting at like a 60% premium to where they were just a few days ago, and and they had tripled their price overnight. So, excuse me, I can only hope that the roaring kitties out there, cashed out sometime before the markets closed for the late trading session last night. Because you might have missed that opportunity, and you're back underwater. If you're waking up just this morning and you bought at the close expecting great things, you might be disappointed this morning. So I think we could see some selling in GME. I mean, I don't know. It's in play, period. Like, we know it's going to be in play. Whether the price action is fun or not, we can only watch together. Break out the popcorn and you can watch this today. But it'll be entertaining. I just don't know if it'll be lucrative to try and trade. Is it? Actually, I didn't even check this morning. Is it even? It is shortable.
It is shortable. Yeah. I mean, this was a smart move by GameStop, right? They were not scheduled to release until the 11th when Kitty announced yesterday he was going live. They moved their earnings release to this morning, so that was pretty smart. You're sitting at $60 here. Released their earnings well in advance. So if you look in our calendar, my second monitor here, you're going to see GameStop is showing for Tuesday, June 11th. Yeah, that's not happening. They did in advance this morning. So you're not reading it wrong. It's just the way they play this out. Very smart by whoever's doing the marketing there, saying, hey, we have bad numbers. Let's release them now where we're sitting at $60 up here and let the stock go down. And then if their good buddy Roaring Kitty can bring it back up, that'd be great. So good stuff there for them to do that. And of course,
and I forgot about that. Yes, so Roaring Kitty's doing this live YouTube broadcast. Copying. Look, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. We appreciate that they want to copy what we're doing here, and I think that's awesome. So, but
look at this chat.
I think it starts at noon.
There's 25,000 people sitting here waiting for this thing to open up in 3 hours. I mean, got to give credit to this guy, man. This meme-mania is on fire, and we'll see. I think the price action is going to be great on GameStop, especially leading up to noon when that thing goes live. I'm in for the ride, man. We'll see how this goes. This is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Should we do maybe what we should do is the YouTube thing, and we should post a link to our live chat over here on that Roaring Kitty site, and just say, hey, look, if you want to actually hear live what the market's doing while you're waiting, come over and join us. Somebody do that for me. It's going
so fast.
Somebody go post that over there.
But that is a lot of fun there. GameStop in play, guys, dropping here towards 35. It's still tons of volume, 40 million shares traded. It's going to be on my list today. Again, it's going to be tradable, like you said, Peter. I don't know. But at the market open and closest to that noon time frame, it should be a whole lot of fun. With that, you're going to have a lot of other meme stocks in play as well, like AMC. It's getting some volume here, 25 million already in play.
I know. And AMC is like it's just as weird as GameStop, but I mean, it's just getting caught in the eddy. Like, it's really, there's no news on AMC that I can see. I mean, we know that GameStop's a meme stock, right? So let's not kid ourselves. And AMC is also, in the meme world these days. The price action is not as exciting, right? The range isn't as big, but why is it trading with such volume this morning? I mean, the only explanation I've got is because, GameStop moved. So people said, well, if GameStop's moving, let's try AMC as well. And I mean, it's got 25 million shares traded this morning for no apparent reason. So, hey, man,
there's a reason. Kitties, roaring kitties.
Roaring kitties, the reason. Yeah.
There you go.
I do hope.
All right,
I actually wish Roaring Kitty a lot of success. I do hope that I do hope Kevin over there is Kevin, right? Yeah. Anyways,
Keith,
that
Keith.
Roaring Kitty. Anyways, Keith. That's right.
Yeah.
I do hope that Keith cashed out some last night, because I don't know when we're going to get back to $67, but I do hope that took some position off there and took some good profit, because anybody that's
won't
influenced the
shock me if
market
he
that
did.
much
Yeah.
deserves the money, in my opinion, right? Like, sometimes you just, you get lucky, things happen, take advantage of it. I don't begrudge him a second of, that. It's all the other people that are following along that I just shake my head at, that I go, good luck. Like, there's a lot of money being made out there. There's a lot of money being lost too. So all I'd recommend to all of our members, we want to see you trade for a very, very long time. This GME stuff is fun and it's exciting, and you can trade it, but trade it with fun sizes, right? Do not throw your entire account at this, or even a significant percentage of your account at it, because while you could make a lot of money, you could also lose a lot of money. And you really don't want that regret of sitting there going, what the hell did I just do, right? Like, this is really like a throwing dart exercise. It's fun. It's considered like going to the casino, right? You wouldn't put your life savings.
It's great entertainment. Yeah.
Right.
It's great entertainment.
Right.
It really is. I mean, enjoy it. Don't blow your account on it. Enjoy it, right? I'm looking at the chat right now, and these guys are having a blast. Everybody's here.
Yeah.
I can't count how many rockets I've seen already go to the chat there. It's awesome. It's incredible. It's a lot of fun. You won't see this again anytime soon, right? It gets old after a while, but him coming back after 3 years, it's a lot of fun. People are enjoying it, and it's great entertainment. So in 3 hours, we'll see how that entertainment continues there. All right, friends, we do have more stuff to look at here. We have Docu next on the list, which normally doesn't trade very well, but it is here down 7%, 331,000 shares traded on a gap down from last night. I assume this is going to be earnings, but I haven't looked at anything else besides GameStop, Peter. So I don't know what's going on here with Docu this morning.
Wow. Well, you're missing out. There are other things happening in the market. So yes, Docu was the only really earnings play we were watching after the close yesterday. As you can see, they did the little dipsy doodle where they spiked up and then dropped really heavy before sort of recovering and then slowly moving downwards. They beat their numbers, so it was a good quarter, and they actually announced a $1 billion share buyback. So the board is putting their money back into the company. However, they also announced that they were moving their guidance slightly lower for the quarter. Their gross sales were down despite beating the numbers in the quarter, and as a result, they said their expectations for the rest of the year are going to be a little lower than originally forecast. So usually that's all it takes to move the stock down, and sure enough, we're seeing that this morning. Little surprised that we've got as low a volume as we do this morning, only 32,000 shares. So a little lower than I'd ideally like to see on a stock that's moving like that. But we got what we got.
Yeah. There's Docu. Do I add this on the list? I'm not sure. No, I'm not going to add it. I think there'll be better stuff this morning. NVAX, I know NVAX's been making a little bit of noise here. They are down 6.2 today after a nice run over the last couple of days. You can see here on the third, the fourth, and the fifth, they ran up pretty nicely. Down this morning 6.6 with 1 million shares traded. So this seems like great volume. And I know they've been trading well. If you saw it yesterday, again, another great trading day out of them with some increased volume. I think they're worth watching here today. What's your thoughts on this one, Peter?
I agree. We were talking about this in my my boot camp team meeting that I had yesterday afternoon. We had a member that had traded Novavax, and there was a good trade on it. Good little trade, sort of not at the open, but around 9:45 when it started to drop, and then did the little pullback, and that gave an entry opportunity. It gets the volume. So Novavax, not one that I've watched for a while, but I'm thinking that maybe I should have. It's sort of like that when Dell was hot for a little bit. Novavax continues just to get volume. Average is about 34 million shares a day. But again, that's a little more recent too, right? Like it had been down to about 3 or 4 million shares as of early May. You can see there on the chart. Yeah, May 10th. Suddenly it took off with volume that, bigger volume recently. So yeah, I don't know. There's nothing particular happening. I mean, they did have that announcement earlier, if you remember, about the partnership they had to develop both cold and COVID vaccines. But as long as it's in play, might as well. If the shares are flowing through it and you can get a decent trade, I'm going to put it on one of my secondaries here just to keep an eye on. Muted, Carlos.
Thank you so much, Peter. I have it on my secondary here on my main list. If it gets if I find something better, I'll definitely move it down on a secondary. I think it's worth watching. Great pre-market action, great volume on it. Next one on the list on the gap down that we're looking at this morning, UPST started moving at around 820 here. So down 5%, 258,000. I'm not a big fan of the stock, but there's been moments where it trades very, very, very well, gets great volume, gets great continuation, and actually has a good price action. But man, out of the few days that it has been in play, it has not been many where it has done that great. So looks in play this morning, or at least starting to get in play, right? 260,000. What's driving this today?
Upstart is like it's got a foot in a couple of different camps, right? It's credit services company. Sometimes they like to play, when PayPal and those others are playing. They're pseudo meme. They're sort of on the fringe of the meme circuit. I think that's why they're on our list today, because they're just getting caught in the massive gravitational force that is GameStop today. So because I don't really see any news on it, I don't see any reason for Upstart to particularly be moving, other than it's sort of again on the fringe of the memers. So maybe they're looking for something else to trade if when GameStop gets boring.
Yeah. We'll leave that alone for now. Not much to see there. Gold is another one that comes up in a list quite often. It is down 3.2, 494,000 shares traded. I don't usually watch this. I think there's other better things to trade at times when this is in play. But if you like to trade gold, this is one that you can look at on here this morning. Anything on that field?
Minor news. We have to keep in mind, this is not gold. It sounds like it's like an index or an ETF. It's not. It's actually Barrick Gold. They just happen to snap up the gold ticker. A Canadian company, Canadian miner. Look, Canadian mining companies, especially gold miners that traditionally have operated out of Africa and African countries, have often gotten themselves into trouble in occasion. Look, gold, it doesn't trade very well, so I don't expect it to trade well. There was some news that they have agreed to $1 million settlement to help communities in Papua New Guinea after a landslide that happened that killed about 600 people, unfortunately. $1 million seems like not very much, to be honest. So anyway, so I said pretty minor news out of that. But gold is, no, I don't expect it to be in play.
Yeah, same here. Next one on here that we're going to look at is PLTR, and this one could be a lot of fun. Down 2.4, 1.2 million shares traded. They are getting the volume. And man, when this thing can trade, it can trade very, very good. So I'm inclined to put it on the list. Peter, is this just because of the news that we just got released here on economic data, or are we having some other play on PLTR? Looks like.
Well, I do think PLTR is probably partly, just reacting with the market. There is, they were talking some positive stuff this morning, a couple of releases on AI. Palantir here does, play in the AI tech world. But I didn't see any negative news. So usually, AI, you just have to say it and people get excited. But I don't know, there's quite a number of, on the stock twits feed talking about how it's the time to buy. As soon as PLTR drops, you need to buy in. So I'm not suggesting, by the way, that you need to do that. Don't. I'm just telling you what they're saying. So I don't know. I mean, this is just natural movement for PLTR. I don't see anything special.
Yeah. I'm going to put it on a secondary list just in case. I like the volume. I like the drop. But might not stay there depending on how things go. Yeah, you know what? I know it's 1.3 million, but it's not really significant for PLTR. They do so high volume all the time, right? So if you look at their pre-market activity, I mean, what they're averaging, 60, like 55 million, right? They get a lot of volume in the pre-market, right? So it's not that impressive. I agree. Hood could be why is this gappers list like jumping a little bit funky? Are you seeing that too, Peter? Right? It just keeps jumping like the tickers. AMC is now back in the green, which shouldn't be there. Very weird stuff with the gapper list.
I don't know why that AMC is
GameStop in the green. Now GameStop is in the green. Is that a is the gappers list trying to tell us what's about to happen? Should we go long here on GameStop? What's this thing? Some kind of
It's
sign?
prophetic. There's prophecy going on in the gap. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on, but the only thing I trust is your 8 ball. If you have it around there, we might have to use that today on this wacky Friday to see if GameStop is going to hit 67. Could be too easy. Let's see if it's going to hit 100.
Okay.
When Kitty goes,
I don't think we've done this on
do that.
YouTube. This is a thing we normally do in the room in the afternoon. So we got the magic 8 ball here. Sits on my desk whenever we actually need to, we need to understand what the Oracle thinks and what the market's doing. So we'll ask magic 8 ball. Carlos has a question for you. He wants to know, will GameStop hit $67 during the trading day today? And the magic 8 ball says, Carlos.
Let's see.
Oh my. It says you may rely on it. What?
Oh, we are going long, my friends.
We got to buy a couple of shares after that. Sure? Let me ask you again. Will GameStop hit $67 today?
You don't need to ask it twice.
9:30 and 4. Is it going to hit $67? It says ask again later now. Wait a second. Magic 8 ball.
Yeah, because you asked it twice.
I don't want to ask.
We're going to go with the first answer.
Yeah, $67 today. It says yes, definitely. All right, you've heard it here. Magic 8 ball thinks GameStop's going back to 67. Which, you know what? When this live, broadcast happens at noon, anything could happen. There's craziness out there. I just want to say, by the way, both Carlos and I, as representatives of Bear Bull Traders, we are not official broker-dealers and not registered to give investment advice. Please do not take any advice from anything that we say and do not make a trade on that. We take no responsibility for the results of that trade and will not answer any calls if you want to call and blame us. Thank you.
Absolutely. I love those, especially when they go so fast and it's so long. It's like, really? It's like a 30-second long. It's insane. All right, guys, we're good. I mean, there's not a whole lot here off this gappers list. The market's just kind of not giving us a whole lot. None of our usual suspects are even on this gappers list. I don't see NVIDIA. I don't see Apple. I don't see AMD. So we will look at what those guys are doing. This gappers list continues to act a little bit funky. GameStop is not up 33%. So I don't know why it's showing on this side. So be cautious of that. Let's take a look at what you like, Peter. Are you looking at AMD today?
I am looking at AMD. I mean, AMD and NVIDIA, we haven't talked about them. I mean, how quickly we forget.
Yeah.
Eh? Anyways, I did mention it earlier. With all the excitement there, we can't forget them. Both have been moving well. There's been trading opportunity on AMD and NVIDIA. NVIDIA especially. Yesterday, if you remember, we were sitting at 1240, I think 1240-ish through the open and dropped pretty heavily. But there was trading on it and good opportunity. We're now sitting down here just below the $1,200 mark, but still within range of the last 2 days. So there, I don't know where this is going to go, but I do expect it to be in play. Keep in mind, Monday morning, right? We're now within sort of one trading day of the 10-for-1 stock split. So that should be fun. I think this will also be in play absolutely on Monday. But we got to get through today first. So watching those two, Tesla, as always, right? Tesla's always on my list. I still think it's a good trader. Again, if you look at the daily, you might think I'm crazy because Tesla's daily actually looks horrible over the last little while.
Looks pretty
look
bad.
At that.
Yeah.
Look at that bad sideways chop. But within that range, you do get a couple dollar moves because it does tend to like to move in waves and up and down. So. I do think there's an opportunity. And the other one that surprised me yesterday, had some good moves on it, was Amazon. Amazon just had a very solidly positive day yesterday. It just was sort of slowly moving up and up. A little harder for me for my patterns to day trade, but nice, solid, steady day for Amazon. And the thing that was not on my list, but I ended up trading yesterday, was actually Meta. My only trades on the day yesterday were on Meta, and I actually traded live with our traders at P Capital Bootcamp. And I traded it because our good buddy and fellow moderator here in the room, John Hiltz, he was trading it long for a high of day break just after 10 o'clock. And I know whenever he's trading a high of day break, there's often an opportunity for me to take the reversals. So he traded it up to the high of day. I was waiting for my signal, and once I got it, I took it short from the high of day and took it back all the way down and through VWAP. So we both got excellent moves on Meta, just in opposite directions. So shows, right?
That's awesome,
you can
man.
trade it, depending on your strategy, you can trade things very different. Exactly, Linda. It was a mountain pass that I was looking for in Meta. If you look at the 1 minute, didn't turn out to be perfect. It took me actually 3 tries to get into it. So I had 2 losses, and then the third one, of course, paid for everything. So, but it ended up being a good day on Meta. So that's what's on my watch list, Carlos, for today.
Yeah. I like what I have here so far. GameStop, NVAX are all in play. NVIDIA, I have AMD on the secondary. And I got PLTR too. It's got tons of volume. We'll be looking that one closely as well. All right, let's take a look at what you guys like over in our main chat and then also in our YouTube chat next. And if you haven't done so already, guys, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. We'd love to get to our goal of 300 likes. So if you can help us get there, that would be amazing. So thank you so much. All right, in our chat room, what's on deck for you guys this morning? I see Coin and Mara. Let's take a look. Coin popped up yesterday in the morning, and then it kind of just hung out there. This morning, we are pretty much flat, not a whole lot of volume, right? So the reaction is just with the overall market there, not really giving you a whole bunch of movement outside of its own trading, right? So we'll have to wait to see what the overall market has for that one. Mara, same thing, right? Anything that's looking like this at 8:30, it's just overall market movement, and there's some greater tickers that can move a little bit much better, right? But we'll see at the market open if BTC, right? If you mentioned they're up 1.1 this morning, so we'll see how they goes here. Both of them can get great volume, especially Mara. Already 1.4 million shares traded. You know what? I'll add Mara to the secondary because I do like this this ticker here and there. Javier, you have AMD, PLTR, NVAX, and GameStop. So you basically have my entire watch this year. All looks good there. We definitely review those. MU, what is MU up to this morning? Just overall market movement, right? You got the drop here happening today. I like NVIDIA when I'm going to play the semiconductor type stock, a tech stock, plus one that's moving with the overall market. NVIDIA looks really good this morning. 1.8 million shares traded. And that's going to be my go-to today. But you can look at MU. You got a drop there as well. I think you can't go wrong with both of them. It really comes down now to a matter of preference because MU is also moving. It has volume. Hood this morning. I think Hood is just trying to meme here, but it doesn't really have the juice. I mean, they got going yesterday. After hours, they tried to do something here. They gapped up this morning. If you want to trace something in this territory, I think AMC, we mentioned this, right? AMC and probably GameStop, of course, are going to be your go-to today. And if you look at AMC, if you look at GameStop, they look exactly the same as far as the price action. They're just mirroring each other right now. And again, these are the two go-to probably when it comes to meme stocks today, which seem to be heavily in play, of course, with the event coming up at noon. Here is Apple. Apple this morning, same thing, moving with the overall market. It's got some volume to it. Instead of going to keep on deck, it always is. So I'll put it on a secondary. You know, Peter, you mentioned Tesla, and I forgot to put that one on. I'm going to add Tesla as well here on a secondary. Will be good to take a look on how that's trading in a couple of minutes. But it's got the volume, 1.1 million shares traded, moving with the overall market right now. And again, such a tight range on the daily. But look at it yesterday. Look how, even though it has such a nasty daily, it went from 173 to 179, almost 180. That is a big move, and a clean move too on top of that. When you have these mini ABCD patterns, high of day breakouts, I mean, it traded very well. This is kind of what you're talking about, Peter, right? Although the day looks horrible, I mean, you can get this. Yep. I mean, it doesn't get cleaner than that. It really does not get cleaner than that on Tesla. Exactly. All right, friends. So Apple broke the range. That's good. PW, what is that? PWSC. No. I am Power School Holding. No, it's not gonna rock with us today. I'm not sure, man. It's 3.8 million. This is an ugly 3.8 million. So just be careful, right? Depending on what you're looking for. I know it popped up to 25, but that just might be over. It just might continue to go sideways here. So just be cautious. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, John, on this one. So be careful what you're looking for there. That was not John. Actually, it was somebody else that mentioned that. Javier, be careful on that one. All right, let's see. Sava. and then we'll look at our YouTube chat quickly. Sava, no volume. Somebody made a mistake here. 11,000 shares traded. That's a typo. Nobody's watching this, so be careful. There's just really nothing in play on this one. So I'm going to give this one a garbage truck. Let's give this one a garbage truck. I mean, your suggestion is not garbage, but this stock is garbage. And I think I actually mentioned it. You did tell me it was terrible. And he was not lying. All right, hot garbage on inbound. Careful, guys. Let's see in our YouTube chat. I see Amazon being mentioned, which is typically a good one to always watch. It's following the overall market. It sits right there in that Apple, AMD, even NVIDIA. They all have the same chart right now. It's basically whatever the SPY is doing, right? SPY is recovering now, trying to get back into the green, and these guys are just doing the exact same thing. So in that situation, what we do normally, Peter, we just pick your favorite. Just pick your favorite stock that you like to trade that's getting volume, and go with that. But they're really just following the overall market at this point. We'll do 2 more, and then we'll head over to community events and announcements. Want to give you guys a heads up on what's coming up for the next 2 weeks. So Peter's going to run us through that. Z, no, this is no good, man. No. All right, another garbage can. Do we have another garbage can out there? Do we have Elon Musk on the bin on fire? I don't know if I gave that to our production guy here.
We haven't had that opportunity to break out Elon.
Yeah. Oh, we do. There we go. Not nice. This hot garbage.
Yeah. There you go.
Gotta love that. All right, friends. So yeah, no good there in CrowdStrike. They were in play. Was it a couple of days ago? Right? They were. I forgot what they were doing. They had the gap up here, but then they just go back to the regular trading, which is no volume whatsoever. So again, just not really in play. Hi, Elon.
By the way,
it's awesome.
Speaking of CrowdStrike in that space, if you're watching Bitcoin, if you trade crypto over the weekend, crypto's positioned well here on the daily, or at least Bitcoin is, for some maybe interesting movement. It's been a pretty quiet week, pretty quiet month, or a couple of weeks. But it looks good for a move this weekend. I don't know that anything's going to happen. You never know on this, but it just looks like it's in a position where it could make a move. So, and typically the weekend is when it does it, if it's going to do anything. So, I would say keep an eye on crypto this weekend, just to see if you trade crypto. If not, do like me and don't care, and we'll just find out what happens when I get back Monday morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Friends over on YouTube, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. It does help us out a ton. This is why we ask, because I know, we're busy having fun here back and forth, and people forget. But we would love if you could do us that favor. It helps us drastically here on the show. And we're close to 400,000 subscribers. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. It does help the channel grow. So definitely do that. We promise our chat. Can we get the second monitor here? If our chat looked like this, Peter, how will we keep up?
Our chat looks like.
Can you read Melanie's comment if the chat was moving?
Oh,
like that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The roaring kitty.
Like,
stuff.
Let me look at the ticker.
It's a little crazy,
right there. I got one. It's wild. It's wild. It's almost 30,000 people on this stream. It's.
You got to grab and hold that feed, because otherwise you'll never be able to read anything there. But it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine what it's going to be like when it actually opens? So
when he goes live, it's gonna be massive. Guys, head over to our community events announcements. You can always check that at bearwithtrades.com/webinars, or click on webinars, and you can see what's coming up in our community for the next 2 weeks.
Yep. All right, let's talk about that. We always have a full slate of activities here at Bearable Traders. Unlike Roaring Kitty that only does one every 3 years, we do informational webinars several times a week. Like you always got stuff going on here. Next week we start with the onboarding class on Monday. So if you're here and you're brand new and you decided to join the room today, that's awesome. Monday, you should put in your calendar at 8 o'clock to join the onboarding class, where Carlos will talk you through sort of how the Bearable community works, all the resources you have access to, and how you can maximize your time here. Even if you know all that and you've got experience, join for a good conversation and a lot of fun. I'm just looking out the window here because it's raining hard again. So I wanted to get all the rain out of its system so it doesn't rain on me when I'm trying to cycle on the weekend. But anyways, all right. So put the onboarding class in your calendar and you can join. Tuesdays, we do strategy and trade book. And then this next Tuesday, Thor is going to be talking about the how. He always talks about the where, the when, and the how. This is the how part of it. So, and it's independent. You can learn this independently. Oh, of course, it's great as you're learning it part of his overall series of informational webinars. It's going to be about the mental art of taking trades. Again, 8 o'clock. This is on Tuesday, the 11th of June. My daughter's birthday, by the way, 25 years old on Tuesday, but we'll wish her a happy birthday then. But Thor will be doing a webinar that night. And then the next week on Tuesday, actually, I don't know what's happening the next week because this is listed for Tuesday, June the 25th, which is 2 weeks later. So I'll get back to you about what we're doing next, like a week Tuesday. All right. Wednesday psychology, and this coming Wednesday, we're very happy to have Susan, who's been with the community for quite a while and been a moderator for the last couple of years, helps out greatly on P Capital trading. She's going to be doing a webinar here about an introduction into self-mastery. We've all gone through that journey, anybody that's been an experienced trader for a number of years, and she's going to share sort of her journey and the lessons that she's learned from that and from the thousands of traders we've had go through the P Capital Bootcamp. So that should be a great session on Wednesday, June the 12th at 8 p.m. Oh, look at that. The Wednesday after the markets are closed. Really, that's a rare midweek market closing. I didn't know that. So I guess we will not be having a webinar on the Wednesday after June. It's Juneteenth. Fantastic. Okay. This brings us to Thursday. Like yesterday, next week we will have a slate of mentorship sessions for you. There's 4 of them for you to pay attention to, starting with John at 11 a.m., Jared and Megan, who talk options at 2, Lenny, who does his 4 o'clock session, and of course Thor, who does his 8 p.m. Thor's Day, meant Thor ship. So you can put those in your calendar and hopefully you will join. One thing you don't have to put in your calendar because it's always available is tradingterminal.com. If you go to Trading Terminal, you can check out all the tools and information we've got there. It's great. It'll give you an update as everything that's moving. If you use the scanners, for example, it'll show you turbo break up and breakdowns. It'll tell you, pretty much anything you want. You can configure it to customize for whatever you're looking to see. You can use our live simulator, the replay mode, the calendar of events. Like there's just so much in there. Check it out. And if you want to join us at Bear Bull Traders here, which is the community that we're talking to you from, and very proudly, if you're listening to me right now, you've been seeing it on the bottom and side of the screen. You can join for just $1. We only charge $1 to keep the bots at bay. So you can join 1 week. You get access to that onboarding class with Carlos I was talking about, plus full access to the chat room. So you can sort of see what it's about. Does this make sense for you? Is it a good community for your trading? And we think you're going to love it. We got great members in here. We always have great conversations, not only about the markets, but about all sorts of other things. So it's a great way to sort of stay connected with the community and have so many more eyes watching the market for you. So check it out. Go, if you want to take advantage of that deal, go to bearbulltraders.com/YouTube, and you can get that $1 deal. If you've already done that, because you can only do that once, then you got to join using the basic or elite monthly package. We'd love to see you in here for the longer term. And then you could use the elite annual if you want, ready to jump in and commit for a year. That's always the best deal. It gives you the biggest discount. So those are our membership options. With that, hey, we're not doing bad for time here. Pretty relatively light day. There's a lot of excitement in GME. It's still going nuts. What are we up to now? 47 million shares traded. Why not? Right? What the heck? But other than that, yeah, it's fairly quiet in the markets. We do have a few things to watch and a few things to set levels on. So I'll pass it over to Carlos to do just that.
All right. Thanks, Peter. Yeah, friends, we got tons of stuff here as far as volume and excitement going on. GameStop, 47 million shares traded, down at 19.2 at the moment. But again, it's just a lot of fun. And the chat, I think it's going even faster. So that'll be a great event here at noon to see. Highs and lows for the last 2 trading days on GameStop is going to be, highs and lows for the pre-market, 63.88, right? So I'm going to mark that down. That is our high of our pre-market. And obviously we have 67.38 from last night. This thing climbed out of what I think it was like 30 something dollars, all the way to 67. The low of the pre-market where we're trying to find some kind of support is going to be 35. But again, guys, take these levels as a grain of salt, because when this stock is in place, when the market opens, you're going to have a couple of holds like we did yesterday. We had a couple of holds here on the way up, and on the way down, actually. I remember it being halted here on the way down as well. Then it came right back up and it just took off. So be careful. Market open, you are probably going to see some of that. And I cannot wait to see what 9:30 is going to look like for this ticker. And then later in the day at noon. 4061 seems to be an area as well. We flirted with that yesterday quite a bit here, and we're flirting with it again this morning. 4061. You see a couple of stuff happening there. And then once you look at the bigger picture, right, the highs and lows for the last 2 trading days, got some good levels on here. We have been here recently, right? We popped up to 65 when all the tweets came out with all the videos, and it was just madness. So we had that going on. With a couple of days ago, we gapped up, sold off. And today we have another event out of the Meme-mania. So looking good there as far as action. NVAX at the moment, we are down 5.1. Low of the pre-market. Today's 1740. I do like the volume we're getting here on this stock today, right? So great volume. We're sitting at 1.1 million, and actually it traded very clean yesterday. So if you're watching it yesterday, had a very active pre-market activity, did translate into the market hours, at least for the first hour and a half or so. After that, it just became really flat after they found a base around $20. But today, again, another active pre-market activity. A lot of it probably, led by some news here, but looking very good. I like that there, and I'm looking forward to that one. Outside of the highs and lows towards the top, you do have the highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. And then towards the bottom, you got this nice area of support, which is basically your low of your pre-market right now. That around that 1738, 1740. If we were to drop below that, we do have 16. We're going to slam one there, and we're going to slam one over at around 1424 in case we do drop that much. But again, we're already gapping down a bit. I don't think it's going to go down that heavy, at least not right at the market open. NVIDIA, tons of volume, guys. 2 million shares traded on this stock. And as you can see right now, we're just kind of bouncing from the support we set a few days ago. Low of the pre-market is 1177, so we'll slam one there. And towards the top, high of the pre-market is sitting all the way up around 1219. So there you have, that's your highs and lows for this pre-market. Previous day close is between in there as well. You do have your highs and lows for the last 2 trading days, including yesterday, which includes your all-time highs. And towards the bottom, in case you do decide to drop, 1148. So excited. I think this stock has so much great stuff going for it. Next week they'll be doing their split, so they're doing it today, but we'll see the numbers next week. This thing will go down to a much reasonable amount, 10-to-1 split, and it'll be fun. I think it's going to give even more volume when that happens. So that's NVIDIA. Looks really good. And that's all I have, guys. GameStop, NVAX, NVIDIA. I have a ton of possibles I'm going to be looking at. They're pretty much moving with the market, like Tesla, AMD, Apple. They're all just got this same V-type shape forming right now, which is basically, if you look at the SPYs, what the overall market is doing at the moment. We've got this V shape trying to recover and get into the green. And I think that's going to create a lot of great opportunities for us this morning. So up next, guys, don't leave us over on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up. We're going to have Brian and a moderator trading live. Thor, I believe, is on today, actually. So our good buddy Thor will be on trading live this morning. So looking forward to that. Haven't seen him trade live in a while, so I'm excited for it. And it should be great, guys. So over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. And Thor, let me know if you need a link, because I know we changed a couple of things around. You might need an actual link there. Before we leave you, let's take a look at our moderators list. Go ahead, Peter.
I just tried posting on the Roaring Kitty stream to say, hey, why don't you come visit us here at Bearable Traders? And then I tried to do it again, and it's slow mode has been activated. There's so many comments, you can't comment more than once every 2 minutes. So
yeah, I gotta say hello, hi for the Netflix documentary. I just want to be in it if it comes up. There we go.
There you go.
I want to see my comment when they show this. So hi for the Netflix documentary. Beautiful. All right, friends. Looking at our moderators list this morning, I made history already there just by doing that. Let's look at our moderators list this morning. We have our good buddy Thor, let me move this over a little bit because I was playing with it.
That's smart, Carlos. You're thinking ahead. I like that.
It's big. I mean, you have Bloomberg Radio talking about this thing, right? Like, who would have thought, like, in a million years, this would be a topic at a financial firm or news? It's exciting. It's awesome. Thor, for you, Meta, Apple, Tesla, AMD futures. Peter, you have AMD, Tesla, Nvidia. Secondary list, GameStop, NVAX, and Meta, who traded you very well yesterday. Your IPO for today, Way and Wrap. So Wrap, Way. Yeah, I like that. Good tickers today. Phil, Nvidia, GameStop, AMD, Meta, and then Pierre, you're looking at AMD, Nvidia, Tesla, Mara, secondary list, NVAX. Careful with the spread. I cannot agree with you more on that. Be very careful with that spread on NVAX. It tends to be pretty wide at times. Brian, who's going to be trading with you live next, is joining us in the stream soon. AMD, Nvidia, Apple, and Hood, as well as Meta on his list, also for our good buddy Brian there. And I just got to scroll this up right here. Okay, friends, that is our list. Over on YouTube, stay tuned, guys. Thank you for joining me and Peter, Brian, and Thor up next, taking you through the market open. It's going to be a great day today. A lot of excitement. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys. Take care.
I want to wish everybody, it is World Caring Day. So, so members in the room were just to remind me of what the days were. So, while you're caring, if you want to care for yourself and you're living in the U.S., it happens to also be National Donut Day and National Chocolate Ice Cream Day. So, seems like a good opportunity to indulge. So, enjoy those. Have a smart trading day. Let's have some fun out there. But again, don't do anything too crazy. We want to see you back here on Monday with money in your account. All right? Take care. We'll hand you over to our friends for live trading. And cut. We got to get better at that.
And action.
There he is. Exactly. There he is.
There he is. Good morning. Hey, happy National Donut Day.
Yeah. Do we get to celebrate if it's national? That would imply that it's American. So,
yeah, I know. Well, Peter, you can go and get yourself a donut if you can't go bike riding tomorrow.
All right. Well, you know what? I'll burn it off, so that's not a problem. I was thinking that for dinner tonight I should have some spaghetti. You got to do the traditional carbo loading, right?
Oh, right.
But
so this is
maybe I'll finish it off with some chocolate ice cream on a donut.
So is this like every weekend thing, or is this
no?
This is
the Rideau Lakes annual cycling tour. So
we're riding for a cause.
It's not really a cause. It's just it's the Biking Association's annual tour. I suppose the cause is cycling in Ontario, so it's not a charity exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, jobs report stronger than expected.
Yeah. Well, there's actually more unemployment claims than expected, but also more jobs created than expected. So a mixed picture there.
It was a mixed picture. Unemployment at 4% now, but a lot more jobs added. I didn't see what the wage data was, but anyway, market didn't like it much when that number came out. We are well off the lows of the day, but we're above the VWAP on the Qs, and we're above the VWAP on the SPY. So this could be one of those days where the market just, as soon as we open up here, the market just rips higher. But
you were implying that you were trading GME overnight. Did you get it wrong?
Yeah, I did. I was getting FOMO. We have a Telegraph account, and there was a lot of chatter between the mods after the market on GME, and I was just getting some big FOMO. So I thought, well, I gotta be part of history too. So I got in a little late. Got in 52. I said I was going to get out at 59. I put in my order, and I got filled. And then it was at 61, and then I had some regrets. went out at 61, and then I woke up this morning and I was glad I got out. So only 100 shares, but not a bad move. AMD
Good.
looks like
Well,
it's
I'm glad you
just,
got out safely because it's
yeah,
not looking good today. If you bought at the close, we're hoping to have some fun at the open. You're not that excited right now.
you're not having fun.
No.
So yeah, there you go.
You here? Who's helping you out here this morning? Is it Thor? Is joining in?
I don't know. I haven't been keeping track. So this is the last day that NVIDIA will be trading at $1,200 for quite some time. You never know; it may get back there eventually. But on Monday, we should wake up and see it trading about somewhere around 120. See if it's a sell the news event, or if it gaps up and starts going again. Microsoft and Meta still are green. That's interesting. CRM slightly green. Lyft is green.
I don't have any great stock setups for this morning. I'm watching GME because I think you just have to, because if nothing else, it's for entertainment value. I do want to see what NVIDIA does. It's had a weird couple of days here, and we're in, as I said, this sort of a waiting period right now as we wait for the 10-for-1 stock split that's going to happen on Monday. I don't know. I'm not sure what else to watch. I don't have any good targets for opening range trades. For me, I need a good setup opening range, like I was describing on the live trading I was doing yesterday with our P Capital friends. Neo was my target, but for a Rising Devil, but it didn't happen. It's courtesy of you, Brian. You taught me those Rising Devil falling.
Yeah.
I traded.
No. Okay. So NVIDIA's going. AMD just went green.
Mm-hmm.
Just poked its head above there. I'm looking at Hood. I'm not really liking it too much. Actually, it's not moving around much. But I think the market's going to go. Market's going to move up here as soon as we open, by the looks of it. So let's. It is a Friday. So we'll just have to see how things settle out here.
Yep. Apple moving higher here as we head towards the open.
I'm going to watch Apple too. So I'm going to watch Apple. I'm going to watch all the old faves today. Maybe keep an eye on Hood, but Hood keeps talking about, has been talking about banning Royal the kitty. And so, of course, it'll be interesting to see what he has to say at noon.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the webinar is going to be about, to be honest. And the tenor of it may change with how the stocks moved. Oh, there's my alarm. So we got 1 minute to the open.
Okay. Get ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. Oh, there I am.
Let's see if if NVIDIA does a little. Every morning it seems to do a little pullback, and then the buying brigade comes in. So we'll see if that's the case this morning.
Mm-hmm.
But markets are looking like they want to come back here.
I will be watching DocuSign. I do think that, again, had earnings. The volume's pretty low, so I need to see a whole lot of volume come into it just to see to make it move. But if it does, this could drop further. But I right now, volume's too low to really understand what it's doing at all. All right,
Okay, here we go.
There's the bell.
Here is the bell. Let's see what happens. There's the NVIDIA pullback that we always get. Hood is actually popping here. It's not what I had expected.
DocuSign is indeed going lower. Hard. Didn't give me the entry signal I was looking for, which is too bad because big $1.60 move here.
Wow, Nvidia's dropping pretty hard here. Qs are dropping. SPY is dropping. GME is going to go to 40. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Cray, cray.
It's cray, cray. Stop with your hip turn.
I get Apple's going here.
Yeah, I see Apple moving up. Tesla's not doing that much this morning.
Tesla, I don't think is going to be.
Spoke too soon on GME. Hit 39. Now it's down at 37. Oh,
yeah, that's what I was worried about, the volatility here.
Well, like I was describing to my friends yesterday, DocuSign did make the move I was anticipating. It just didn't give me the entry signal I was looking for, which is too bad because a good strong move downwards, but I am not in it. But I was right. I knew it, as somebody would say.
I'm got long some Apple here, just see if we can get to 196. So I'm at 153.
All right.
Apple does look strong. Yeah, GME is all over the place.
Yeah, now it's back up to 39, and now maybe it's going to hit 40. Oh, did it just get halted? What's going on? Oh, it hit the limit up. It's not halted yet, but it's sitting right at the limit up. Let's see if they can save it. No, it got halted. All right, so GME made such a big move from low to high there, going from the 36.50 all the way up to 39.50, that it hit the limit up immediately and triggered a halt. So probably a 5-minute halt, which means 9:37 and 28 seconds is probably when it'll reopen. We'll wait for that. Meanwhile,
I got stopped out of Apple.
Tesla's gone green.
195.40.
Oh, DocuSign. Damn it. Did somebody take DocuSign for me?
Yeah, I looked at that. I didn't really think it had much more downside, but it probably had another $1 in it.
There's a low.
I'm glad. Yeah,
I'm glad you took it.
There's a
Keishan, here, I'll post this for you. On my screen, it tells me the halt time, and I basically just add 5 minutes to it. So it tells you exactly when it was officially paused, and then it pretty accurate. I mean, they actually can hold it manually longer than that, but if they stick to the base rules, which would be a 5-minute minimal halt on volatility, then it'll reopen right at that point. Now, they can hold it for longer, right? They don't have to open it at 5 minutes. They could hold it for 10 indefinitely or a random amount of time, but typically it's the 5 minutes, especially on a first halt of the day.
Hey, good morning, fellas.
Hey,
good morning.
Thor.
Hey, I was just popping in to say hi to everybody and hang out for a little bit. Finally got stuff around the house situated. Sorry, I was a little late. I was ready to go, and then like 3 minutes before the open, my daughter, who's on the spectrum, started having a pretty significant issue. I had to go handle that real quick. So we got her set up, and and now I'm in to do a little trade. I'm actually short the market right from the open. ES. I went short because we opened at S4 after selling a lot in the pre-market. So I'm still holding that position to the downside right now to see if we can get something out of that. Should be a good time.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully your daughter's doing a little bit better. I'll leave you guys to it.
Okay. Thank you, Peter.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah, so I'm I'm not. I've got that. I had one small loss on Apple. I'm just looking for another trade here. Just got long AMD. It just looks like it maybe wants to try to break out here.
AMD, that's a great spot. I like AMD, and the pre-market came down to S3. We are in a higher range today on AMD as well, so I would look for a buy out of this area to kind of push up. Maybe looking for as high as 168.50 or even 170 today, because R3 on our calcs and VWAP on the daily are up near 170. So that'd be a pretty nice spot, I think, for us to get to today on AMD if it went into a rally. We can look at the book on that and see what it looks like.
Yeah, it kind of looks not bad right now. I'm just I'm going to take a little off here at 167.50.
Yeah. So your overall CVD as well is green. So you were accumulating in the beginning of the day as well. You took on big, heavy buying, and there was more buying than selling. So it does look like an accumulation. Got nice ask to the top side as well. So it's solid long, buddy.
We'll see. We'll see how it works out. Just it's a little bit. Things are a little bit choppy right now, but Apple popped and dropped there, man. Just glad I got out of that. Nvidia's coming back up now. Did the usual little drop at the open.
Yeah, I'm looking for. I actually want Meta and a couple of these semis or tech stocks. I really would like to short most of them, but they need to get a lot higher for that to happen. So I'm holding off on most of them because a lot of them are in lower ranges today. They closed lower yesterday than 2 days ago, so they're in a little bit of a lower range today. So I'm hoping we can get a bit of a squeeze and a pullback. But so far, the market was ready to sell, like right out of the gate. As soon as it opened, the market started selling. So if we can't find a bidder here on the market, we could go into a trending breakdown. The ES itself actually set an isolated pivot when it made the new lows and pre-market below yesterday's low. So if the market doesn't get its defend on, and soon, things could get very interesting today.
Come on, AMD. Let's do a 168 for me.
Oh, stinking Tesla long off S3. That was perfect.
Yeah. You're right. Right off S3, kind of held through the pre-market.
Higher range, RTH cams at S3. That's perfect. That's a perfect play. That was nice. Good job grabbing that S3. Yeah, sorry, Kevin. No Thorcast this morning. My daughter was having an issue, so I had to tend to her. Unfortunately, however you look at it. So I wasn't able to type that out today. I could do a Thorcast for you right now. ES had a lot of selling after the news. We opened in a lower range underneath S4, and we've had a pretty good amount of selling come on since then. We need to buy a bidder here. If we find a bidder here, I'd look to move to the top side, 53.80 to 53.75 on ES. If not, downside is pretty much whatever it wants to do. There you go.
Here we go. Come on, 168. There we go.
Nice.
That's the way we do it.
That's the way. Oh.
Play the guitar on your MTV. All right.
How's the GME party going? You guys having some GME fun?
Look at this. Yeah, the market's selling off here. Getting a little bit of a sell-off here.
This ticker's fun. Look at this thing. It's getting its roaring kitty on.
Yeah, I don't know what GME is doing, but I'm not maybe I should watch it.
Yeah.
It's not doing
it's not my kind of ticker, but I actually personally don't do very well on highly volatile tickers that, it's just, I'm more of a value player. So, but I think there's a lot of people who are absolutely crushing this. I mean, it's good move, good volatility. It's just not my strength. I prefer just to kind of stick to the stuff I'm good at.
Yeah, exactly.
It's real nice though. It's a good setup.
Just sold some more. Just sold some more
right now?
AMD.
Yo, it's halted right now. Yeah, it's halted right now. Due to volatility, trading pause. Imbalance is 1,000 at 37.35. So keep that.
I did not.
Keep that in mind. So anyone who does halts more than I do, can you tell me why there's no bid on GME right now? Like that, it puts the imbalance at 37.35 because there's no bid that's being shown on DOS. Do we really have an empty bid? Hold on, I can tell you the answer to this. We'll just look at GME's order book. Ooh, I've never really looked at a stock that's in a halt on Bookmap before. This should be interesting. I'm still short the market, by the way, while we're having fun here. I shorted NQ when it rejected the pullback to S4. So I'm short NQ at around 19.020. At break even, though, if it comes back up. But if we sell off from here, should be pretty good. Look at that. Interesting. So this is why it goes crazy when it comes out of halts. Because the book, basically, when it halts, almost all the orders come off the book when it halts. So when it reopens, it probably takes about 5 to 10 seconds for the market makers to re-tier all their orders in. Which is why it'll go yoink right out of the open. And then, it'll find its constraint. That's why this is so dangerous. I mean, right now, right now, if this thing opened like this, there's 0 orders beneath it, almost all the way to 37.25. So the imbalance is showing you where the concentration of orders are for when it opens. So right now, if it opens, the best bid is at 37.25 right here. So there's an entire void of orders between 44 and 37 right now. So in theory, when it opens, it could reopen at 37.25.
Can you hear me, Thor?
Yep.
Okay. Wasn't sure what was going on with our streaming here. All right. So things
there
are...
There goes. Ding, 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 ding.
We just got a rip back...
all right, there's our
back
book again.
Up on the markets. Still holding a little bit of AMD from...
a lot of buying. But it's being absorbed. Higher range.
Wow, GME actually went red and went green on the day, just barely.
Look at how much action is just happening right at the price on this thing. It's wild. There's an iceberg seller here on GME right now, and a big one. Be careful if you're long. You caved in the pre-market off this same level under 50, and there's definitely an iceberg seller here. Like as you tried to buy, look how all of that green volume was just completely absorbed without moving the price up. And then little tiny red dots forced the volume away, right? So we don't have any bid supporting. Anytime we get selling, it moves. All the buying is being absorbed, so we must have a big seller here. Careful, it'll halt. It'll hit its LD if we're not careful. Where's LD on this? LD right now is 43.87. So we got a little ways to go for LD on this one. Yeah, look at that.
Okay, so just yeah, for one trade for me right now, or at least one profitable trade. Looks like the Qs want to go higher.
We've managed to reclaim S4 on the market as well. So, there's some, if we get rallying here, which is certainly, careful on GME. It's hitting its LD right
looks
now.
like we just got halted.
There it goes. It hit. It's halted.
Yeah, it's halted. Halted to the downside. Never.
I can't wait to log into X later and see all the blown up accounts on this thing.
Never a good thing to be halted going down.
How are you? I don't even understand this stuff, man. I can't do this. It gives me anxiety watching other people trade.
I did sneak a little quick scalp in there on when it went to 48. That was like in and out in about 2 seconds. I just don't have stomach to hold that for very much longer here.
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, this is zero DTE day. This is a day I like to sell some options on some stocks that are weeklies. So watching in Netflix has been a great one for me. Selling some options. Won't do that yet. We'll let things settle down a bit first, and then look for sort of a little bit of art. Just finding when there's still some volatility in the options, still some good price in the options, and buying and selling them far enough out of the money that there's very little chance they'll go there. So, and Friday volatility really comes out of the usually comes out of the market anyway. So. AMD, I'm still sitting with some shares here. I'm just seeing if it's going to break R3 here.
Ooh, you had me at R3. Oh, it's a higher range.
R3,
nothing here for me on this one. I love how it's respecting R3 right now, but for this range being a higher range, I actually would like to short R4. So I'd want it to get higher. So I think we can get higher. I'd like, with last month and monthly R3 being up near 170, R4 being near 170, that'd be a pretty sweet spot. I think we can get higher.
It's making
Order
a series.
Book's really red though. A lot. CVD's negative. What about it?
Yeah, CVD is positive on AMD. It is making a series of higher lows. As long as we hold this higher low here on the one around 168, I think it has an opportunity to go higher here. Tesla kind of rolled over. Apple really rolled over. Qs or SPY is actually at high of day right now.
kind of hunting for a good position right now. I got a little bit of a long going on ES futures since we came up and supported above S4. So I'm going to see if we can break and go into a bit of a rally here. It looks like a lot of tickers are in buying ranges as well. So if that happens, the whole market could have a nice upward push, and that'd be pretty nice. We could get some movement that direction. I'm also watching Amazon here for a long off of S3, higher range today. Let's see. Yeah, higher range today. So pulled back, held S3, came back, tested it a second time. If the market bounces, it'd be a really good spot.
Are you getting your donuts on today there, Thor?
Donuts? Maybe. That'd be good. That sounds great. I'm hoping that, right now, with the amount of money I've made so far, that's about all I can afford.
It's National Donut Day. You got to go out and support your...
Right now, I've made like $20. It's like a donut day right now. And a little Krispy Kreme 3.
Yeah, a little Krispy Kreme. Here we go with AMD. Nice. Get to 169 now. Yeah, 170 is R4 on this, at least on my 2-minute chart. Oh, GME just reopened.
In R4 too, because we're in a higher range, R4 could be a rejection point, but AMD could easily go into a trending breakout today, especially if you look at where it's at on its daily chart. It's came out of the lower buying range for the month near 160. It really doesn't hit a longer term selling range until it gets to like 176 or something like that, which is above the highs of last month. So, I mean, I think, if this gets going, we can actually get a trending breakout on this, especially since the market dipped so deep. If the market even has a mediocre rally, it'll let AMD do some movement.
Well, Q's just went green there for a couple minutes. Getting to 169 on AMD. Took a little bit more off there, running out of shares.
All right, come on. Let's see what happens here on Amazon. What range would we look to short NVIDIA? So NVIDIA is in a lower range today. So if I'm going to short it, I'd prefer to short it up near like 1225 to 1230, somewhere up there. But it's been all the way down into the lows of yesterday and found some buyers there. So NVIDIA may not, if you got to be really careful with NVIDIA on this pullback. If you try and short it, because if it goes above the seller that really kind of kept it in check, which was at 1225 yesterday, we could initiate obviously a pretty good size squeeze, which could take this thing out of range. So just kind of be careful with that if you do decide to play it short. Otherwise, right now, I wouldn't short it at all, just because it's in more of a buying range right now. And the market itself seems to be trying to bounce at least. So until the market either gives up this bounce or NVIDIA gets into a better range for actually selling, I'd probably just leave it alone. I really wouldn't want to buy it here because it's too likely to sell, especially if you look at yesterday. Had 2 massive waterfalls yesterday on it, found selling very easy. So and so far the buying it's had has been very hard earned buying. So I definitely would prefer to short it, but it just needs to be in a better spot for it. Pleasure.
Again, Qs are trying to go green on the day. trying to stay green, but they just can't seem to manage it.
The market really responded this morning to the news that came out. For those of you, out in YouTube land and, and in the chat room who don't pay attention to it, a really good news aggregator is actually tradingterminal.com/calendar. I really, really love the calendar here at Trading Terminal. And one of the reasons is the economic calendar and how they aggregate the data. So you can see here with the impact filter that at 8:30 we had 1 and 2 very large impact events happening at the same time, right? One of them being the unemployment rate, followed at the same time as our non-farm payrolls. That was a big hit. It really doesn't even matter what news comes out. I'm not into fundamentals. That's not really what I'm paying attention to. I just know that there's news coming out. And you can see here the order book prior to the news completely cleared out. And then as soon as the news came in, we immediately sold and sold very hard. So whatever news came in, it definitely spooked a lot of big accounts that dumped quite a few shares into the open. Since then, we've been kind of squeezing and buying up. Could be shorts covering maybe that are allowing to help fuel this up. But the overall CVD on the market is still red. So for all the buying we found this morning, we've sold more than we've bought. So if you're going to say, are we buying or selling right now? I'd still kind of say we're selling. So we're just kind of squeezing a bit. So we got to be careful not to get goaded into a long here and have this thing sell off really hard on us. But if we get a good squeeze going, I'll take it.
Yeah.
It's just a really sketchy area in the market. Move just a little bit lower than this and things can really get nasty. So we need to get our support on here real soon, or we could actually have a trending down day to close out our Friday.
We shall see. If you're out there following us on YouTube, again, feel free to join us. As Peter mentioned, $1. $1 to keep the bots away, and you get to join us for a week.
I like that. $1 to keep the bots away.
Yeah.
AMD kind of set an ISO pivot there with some volume right in between R3 and R4. I wish it had gotten a little bit higher. I was keeping an eye on that one, but it didn't make it high enough for me to get into.
I was looking at 169. That 170's got a lot of bids now. Thing about AMD right now is it's made a lower low that's pulled back a bit, so we'll see. And the Qs and the SPY are, after they had that nice run, they're kind of just pulling back a bit now. Qs could not stay green. We're back at the VWAP actually on the Qs.
Yeah, VWAP and the 50 are both like right here, 1 minute 50. So it's, if we go through this, we're going to get anyone who bought those are going to dump.
Okay, GME halted to the downside again. Excuse me.
Bless you, sir. Woo! Hey, I told you GME was going to sell, didn't I?
Yeah. What's it say for short? It says there's 700 there shares shortable. Oh, it just opened.
Ding, ding, ding. It just reopened.
Ding, ding, ding. Just reopened. Well, Jared was looking for 40. He got his 40. More than got his 40. What do we got
Brian
here?
has a GME allergy. Rapzilla. It was because
Yeah, maybe.
whoa, a big buyer just
What-
came in and just totally pounced on GME right at $39. It was the 50 SMA was crossed there as well. They just came in and hammered it. Did you see that buyer? Look at this buyer that came in here on the book. We were selling, and then all of a sudden, bam, big buyer came in and just hammered the price. That was like a Randolph and Mortimer Duke moment in trading places when it goes 314 to 142, right? And everyone just goes, buy them, right? I mean, it was like, did you see that hit right there on the volume? Look, the CVD in just the past 15 minutes completely engulfed all the selling and immediately kicked to buying. That was crazy. And look how well it was absorbed. There's still a big seller here. There's still a really big seller. Dang. This is kind of fun to watch.
It's entertaining.
Turn the machines back on. All right. So we're still I got long on Amazon when it pulled back and it held. So my stop being a new low down here. So far we've managed to support S3 again. I'm hoping for Amazon to break, and if it pushes, I'm going to be targeting a move to 185 on this one.
Yeah, I'm just going to cover it here.
NQ also managed, which is the futures for QQQs, also managed to support the breakdown range with multiple wicks and the 50 SMA. So we had found quite a good bit of support here at the low end of the range, which is what we were looking for. So
we did another scalp short on GME there. Whew, there we go. Halted again. I'm not in this halt, but another little scalp there. There we go. The SPY is back at high of day here, trying to break out.
See if they're going to actually do this time, or if they're just trying to goad in the bulls so they can slam this market. Very disingenuous push on that buying volume in the market. It was very low. We moved up, but it was on very low volume. It was probably just short covering from impatient shorts. I want my big buyers to come in. Where are you? Where's my buy the dippers?
Where's the dip buyers?
Yeah, where's my dip buyers? Help a brother out.
SPY is having trouble here. Couldn't push to a new high.
It's right back to S4 on NQ. Buyer, there's a buyer. Come on, that's all you got? Where's my big buyer? Oh, sorry, Alex. I got to mute when I type. I didn't realize my mic picked the keyboard up that fast.
Are you long SPY or Qs, the futures, or
in future? I bought 19. I'm in at like 19,017 and some change, so right down at S4, or sorry, 19. Yeah.
Sorry, this is on MNNQ or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trading it on my Ninja platform, but so here's the DOS chart. But I'm long here because we've been supporting this S4 area. So I'm long right down here. Here, I can show you. I only risked 150 on the trade I went a little wide and just grabbed 3 contracts. But you can see here, my max stop, if it goes down here and stops me out, would be $159. And then I'm going to be going on this trade if it makes it. I'll probably take these all the way till, what do we got, 3 contracts. I'll probably take these contracts and try and run them all the way up to the high of the previous days, or something like that. Maybe take them up to R4. So we'd be looking at a sell up here and make me almost $700 if it makes it. That'd be a good RVR on 150. Over 4, just around a little over 4R.
Right.
We'll see what happens. Right now, we're not getting those buyers. So if it doesn't pop for me, if it comes back down, I may take this one out at break even and just let it fall and maybe try and pick it up off of S6 lower. If it goes, it should go. I mean, we're kind of at that point now to where if they're going to get this party started, they need to.
Yeah.
I'm still holding Amazon long. So, and my stop on that's just down here at the new low of this this drop here. I went long and stuck it down there. Hey, Hector, have a great one.
I'm still sitting with a few shares of AMD. I don't know if we're going to get to this R4, but there's yesterday's high is somewhere around 169.50, which was where I was going to take the rest off. But it looks like AMD is kind of struggling here.
You know, a lot of the tickers like Amazon are coming out of buying ranges right now, so don't underestimate AMD. If these guys come out of the buying range and start a rally on the market, AMD could just go into a trending breakout and just make a run for it. So how's the book still look on that one?
It's actually looking a little bearish to me.
Let's see here.
It looks.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of sellers. 170, 171, and 172 are lit up like a lot of sellers. Maybe too many sellers since your CVD is pretty negative. Your overall CVD on the day is still positive, but your shorter term CVDs are getting are rolling over a bit.
You've got 2 CVDs there, right?
Yeah. I use the day basically so I can just see is it buying or selling more on the day, and then I use like a 15-minute one just so I can see, in the past like 15 minutes or so have we been selling or more. When I'm looking for reversals, it's often, especially if it's like a higher trend, the CVD will be really green, but then when I'm getting a reversal, it's because the shorter term's gone really red. But like in this instance, the order book on AMD is technically still quite bullish. I just don't know if we have enough volume to run up those orders. We seem to be getting a lot of selling here. But that being said, I don't know if I really have recognized a selling climax at all. The volume still looks fairly level. So I don't know if we've really hit that big seller. I think that big seller's at 170. So I would still like to see us run up into 170, smash 170, and if we do, that's a reversal point if it sets up a really good one. Although I'm with Brian we're selling a lot right now, so we might not make it there. Maybe we just don't have the volume to get it up there. Ooh, oh, here we go. Look at that. Amazon's making progress. I'm up almost 2R on it already. No profit yet because I'm going for 4R on this thing.
All right, SPY is finally maybe breaking out of this. It's been trying to get through this 534 area. It looks like it might actually make it this time. Sort of a pennant, forming a pennant on a 2-minute chart here. So let's see the breakout with some volume here. We are getting some volume here on SPY 2. AMD's coming down to the VWAP here.
Yeah, we just went into PDC on a few of these tickers. Come on, what are you gonna do, market? Dang. Friday. We're leading into expirations pretty soon. I think the market's starting to get a little indecisive.
Yeah, we're not really making much progress.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm getting rid of the rest of my shares on AMD. I didn't have a lot left. I did learn something. I learned I could have 2 CVDs. So there you go. Now I've got 2 CVDs.
I like it. Oh, we got Fed Cook speaking at noon. Maybe he'll make things spicier for us. We just came down and grabbed some liquidity on the market. Let's see if it's a spring or not. Mr. T, and for anyone who is interested, CVD is cumulative volume delta. So what it basically is buys minus sells. Cumulative volume delta is kind of the answer to the question, is it, when you're talking about buying or selling? And it's a really nice tool to have because often a stock will be going down, but your CVD is green, which actually insinuates that you're buying more as you're dropping, which often signals you're doing an accumulation, not a sell-off. So you would wait for that dip and you'd buy that dip based upon, seeing there being more buying than selling in that time frame. So CVD can be really, really helpful. And then generically, we like to use 2 different versions of it. We use the all-day CVD, which basically just shows what's been happening all day. And then you pair some version of a shorter-term CVD. I like the 15-minute, for instance. So it kind of just shows you, like you can see on AMD, for instance, despite all of the upward movement, right, we actually have been selling more today than buying at this point, and our short-term CVD is remarkably negative, right? So it basically is tick volume, Leland, more or less, just a slightly different way to do it. But you can see that it kind of really lines up with what Brian was looking at on AMD, and he just cut out the last of his shares as we came back through here, and rightfully so. He just recognized how much selling, and that's why Brian's, the GOAT in my mind when it comes to this stuff, and why I've learned more from him than just about anybody else. He can read that the way that pressure against the book and how it was going to sell. He just knew it was going to go down, and so sure enough, I mean, could he hold for more? Sure, but the amount of shares he had versus the likelihood it was going to go down just made that almost a silly proposition. So he just got rid of those shares, made money, and he wouldn't have on those shares otherwise. He would have made less. So just brilliant play. Good stuff, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a decent trade on AMD after a bit of a loss on Apple. So Apple is trying to crawl its way out of the basement here right now.
If you can see my screen, John, I'll show you. I'll just put it up and you can screenshot it, the CVD.
Yeah, I've got CVD on mine as well, and thanks to Thor's advice, I do have 2 CVDs now, one 15-minute one and one for the day.
I still feel like I owe an apology to somebody for showing you Bookmap. It's just like you already take someone who knows how to read all of the stuff, and now you give them an easier way to read it. I just feel like it's not fair. I think I owe someone an apology. I don't know who it is, but I'll find it.
This thing is a really nice way to visualize what's going on with the order book.
Moss White Auto. It is CVD, not to be Charlie Victor Delta, not to be confused with CBD. CBD may also help your trading, but you would need to talk to a medical professional. Right, yeah, unless you're microdosing mushrooms. I've heard some people apparently do that.
Yeah.
That's like a thing now.
Yeah, that'll work for you too, maybe. What's our buddy GME doing right now?
All right, coin flip. Is it halted or
GME.
not halted? Let's see.
No, it's not halted. It's
Not halted, okay.
It's kind of settling down a bit.
Right at low a day, basically.
Yeah.
So technically, if you played this long, you've made zero progress all day. Look at that. It went up and found that sell. When we were watching this, I was telling you guys, it looked dirty to the downside. Like it was so much selling coming out of this thing. The imbalance data had it at 37.50. So that meant your best bids were coming in way down here. So during halts, the imbalance data is really easy to read because most of the orders go off the book. So you can really, during a halt, really see where your big order is. So we knew the big order was at 37.50 because when we halted up here, the imbalance data showed the biggest orders being at 37.50. So it just, with all the selling, that just kind of made sense. So, and sure enough, this thing ripped right back down into 37, right where it started out the day. Now let's see what happens. Probably nothing good.
Nothing good can ever happen.
Nothing good can happen here.
Nothing good.
See, my thing, and this is why I don't play these, just for me, because I'm a Camarilla trader, and when these things happen or going to this, notice like there's no respect to any levels going on here at all. You know what I mean? Like not even yesterday's high was well respected. PDC wasn't well respected. CP was kind of respected, but S4, S3, I mean, nothing has any value to it. It's just moving from halt level to halt level. So this is one thing a lot of you, especially YouTube folks who like the lower floats, you got to keep this in mind too. I saw a couple of the big accounts that like to post on the X really had some trouble with a ticker a few days ago. I forget it's one of the 4-letter low floats, and I forget its name, but it opened up below 75 cents. And you need to understand that when a low float opens under 75 cents, that means it's going to halt every 15 cents. So if you're getting into that and you're unaware of that, you can have what happens to these guys, which is a few of them went short and then got caught in a reverse halt over and over and over again because the book was over 15 cents wide. So every time it would open, it would immediately halt and they couldn't get out of their positions. So you had all these guys with hundreds of thousands of shares negative at 0.75 cents that couldn't even cover until it was at $4 or $5. These guys lost hundreds of thousands of dollars trading it. So that's just the reason I don't like this high volatility halting stuff. It's just so dangerous. I mean, can you make money on it? Sure. Are you risking blowing up your account? Yes, you are. You know what I mean? Halts are halts. They can go indefinitely. Just because something is halted doesn't mean it needs to come out of halt, right? If a decision gets made in some back room somewhere, you get luck and coffee. You know what I mean? And then the thing never comes back online, declares bankruptcy, and you never get your money back. So keep that in mind.
All right. Well, it looks like SPY is going to go green here. Damn.
There you go,
What
Gonzalo.
else going on here today? What did Avi do? Avi played, what did he play? The SPY? Nice.
Come on, Amazon, you can do it.
Avi's doing the, he's doing the mini futures too, right? By the looks of it.
Yeah, Avi's doing everything, man. Avi's getting his options on from time to time. He's throwing some futures in. Yeah. The only thing he doesn't mess with is equities, it would seem, most of the days these days.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. I love me a good contract. Well, I'm still hanging out being a boring trader. I know I'm not an orb trader, so I'm not nearly as fun at the open, unfortunately. I mean, you can see I'm long and I'm making money right now, but it's like watching paint dry sometimes.
Yeah.
I heard slow trading is good trading. Someone said that to me once. I don't think they were a slow trader though. So
It's okay. You can make money a whole bunch of different ways. So you don't need to jump in on stuff if you find some nice trenders. Right now, I did a bit of just did my Netflix options short. So I'm short the 652s. Expire end of today. So as long as we keep trending down here on Netflix, those will expire worthless at the end of the day. And if you're interested in options trading, I've got my new book out called How to Trade Options. Get that on Amazon. So it talks about some of the strategies I use.
So I personally don't trade options, but I read the book and I actually have a signed copy for all of you. Be jealous.
Oh, nice. There you go.
But I actually read it, and even though I don't trade options, it's really good to read through it and understand some of the principles in it. Actually, Rapzell is the one who signed it. It wasn't actually Brian who signed it. I was just saying it was a signed book. I didn't actually specify who signed it. No, it was Brian. It was Brian. It's good for. But it was good because it's one of those things, like, even if it just helps you understand like what's going on around you, the different things, options massively impact the market. So understanding, even how they exercise and the principles of how they're used and all of those other things you cover so aptly, very, very helpful stuff. So if you don't plan on trading options, having a knowledge of the market and what drives that market is super helpful. So I would certainly recommend the book highly.
Thank you, sir. Anyway, we're really selling hard on GME here.
Look at this thing go. 2 days ago's close was at 3160-ish. We just did another liquidity grab on the Qs. One thing I noticed on the NQ is and the Qs is their books, which was pointed out by one of the other members. The books have been doing some reshuffling. So this is one of the things we start looking when we're expecting trends to change. Is you start to look, and what you'll notice is that the market makers start repositioning orders on the book in a different way, and that often happens before reversals happen. We call them book flips. But sometimes you can be stagnating and they'll actually reshuffle the book and add more lower, so you'll know you're going to continue. But one thing you can notice here is we didn't really have a whole lot on the book, and then all of a sudden someone came in here, started buying, and when they started buying, all of these orders came out on the book. So somebody's involved now that was not involved before. What that means, I haven't quite figured that out yet, but you can see it.
Look at how it popped there. That's why it's dangerous to play with this thing. What's
LU on this thing is only 37.29. So all it has to do is come back up to here and it'll halt again.
Yeah.
What's the LD? How many halts can we hit in one day to the downside?
There's a good question.
I'm happy to watch. Yeah, let's find out. Was it 37.74? No, 33.74. So it's only right here. Is our LD? Our LU is much higher. Was it always on SSR?
I don't know.
I
I
No,
think up
it
to
probably wouldn't have been on SSR till probably around. It probably would have went into SSR sometime around like 950. I would have imagined when it came out of its first big halt to the downside. It probably went into SSR. But before that, any of the selling it did really hard before was all done in the after hours. So there would be no short selling restriction should be triggered if the action happens after hours, unless they've made a change. So I would imagine it actually opened fully shortable, which, is probably why we had this really gross squeeze. And then I did remember seeing it go hard to borrow, NA. I do remember seeing it go hard to borrow. We supported the 50 again. The market's working, man. It's trying. It's really trying.
I think so. What's Roaring Kitty going to do this? Do his video, his streaming on? Is it going to be on YouTube?
Oh yeah, probably. Right? I tell you what, you got to give that Roaring Kitty some. I mean, I was kind of around when all the subreddit stuff happened before. I was actually a member of a couple of those Wall Street Bets subreddit groups back in the day, and got to kind of because I started trading in the end of 2017. So I was around, and I'm still holding Amazon. I was around for a lot of that stuff to watch it, and everyone knew. Everyone knew because when basically it all wrapped up, it was basically like this big prophecy, where RK was like, when will we know? And RK is like, when I'm back, it'll be time. So as soon as RK came back and we saw the media start lighting up, everyone went ape, for lack of a better word. And you can just see the instant result. But I don't think there's anyone better at goading the mob in the stock industry, I think, than this Roaring Kitty dude. I mean, just fantastic. And now turning that into a YouTube channel, which our pre-market show obviously will provide 4 bajillion times the information and acumen, and it's exactly what you're going to want. That dude's going to have like 1 million followers in like 5 seconds, and people will be watching it every single day. Just so good at just hyping media and goading the mob. Just so whatever formula, it's just fantastic. Much love and kudos to the goat, man. I mean, just the goat of the mob, I guess.
He's gonna break the internet.
Yeah, and not quite as good of a trader as that, Reagan. No one's that good. Best to ever do it. Options, though. Another support of the 50. Come on, market. How much liquidity do you need to grab? Are we doing this or what?
Yeah, I know.
If the market would pick a direction, my Amazon trade might work out.
I mean, he does have family and friends, obviously.
So according to Diamond, the RK stream already has 58,000 people on the schedule for the waiting for it to live, and it doesn't even go on for like an hour and a half, I think. Bonkers.
When that whole GME thing blew up 2020, right? It was 2020.
Yeah.
It's like 4 years ago.
Into 2020. Yeah, thanks, man.
Unbelievable, eh? 4 years ago.
Yeah. Seems like, we've been doing this for a bit now, man. We've been trading these opens off and on together for a little bit now. It's kind of wild. Still making money. I think the real thing interesting, Dan, will be what's the statute of limitations on prosecution for all the stuff that he's doing? You know what I mean? Because that's when the real story will come out, right? There's no way we're going to be able to get the real story while all of that's there. Like 4 years or 6 years, or I don't know, is it 8 years? I forget what it is. It's going to be a little bit. We're going to have to wait to get that info.
I wonder if he's like Buffett. Is he like Buffett, where he drives an old beater car?
I bet that'd be what lives in the same house like his parents built, like in the 1950s or something. You never know.
Apparently, that place where Berkshire Hathaway is, this whatever city or town it is like, it's crazy. I guess the real estate's going crazy. Everybody wants to live there. It's supposed to be a nice place.
It's in Omaha.
Is it Omaha? I wasn't thinking something else. There was some small town. Yeah.
I'm gonna now shut my mouth and not speak on this, just because I already know I'll trigger somebody with my opinions on this subject matter. So moving on. Omaha.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a lovely, beautiful, gorgeous. Actually, hold on. Let's talk good about Omaha. I'm going to find reasons to love Omaha.
You know what? There's not too many parts of the U.S. that don't have. You can't say
Omaha
something good
steaks come from there. That's a good thing. Father's Day coming up, by the way, everyone. Just saying. You want to send me some Omaha steaks?
Yeah.
It's literally an ad as soon as I pulled up Google and typed Omaha.
Instead of a tie.
Instead of a tie, or a tie with steaks on it, maybe.
Hey, there you go. Yeah. Yummy.
I'm actually looking at Omaha right now, downtown. Beautiful, really nice aquarium.
Yeah, look at it. Apple's it's rolled over here. It couldn't get its mojo on. Your SPY has just been trying to break through the view and stay green. It has not had any success yet. So anyway, I hear the music, and that means that we are signing off for the day on YouTube. Hope everyone had a decent morning, and y'all have a great weekend. Thor, thanks for hopping on today. Always fun trading with you.
Absolutely, man. It's always fun hanging out. Still holding this Amazon trade. Hopefully we get there. Still holding my long on the NQ as well. Still working. So keep with it, people. Be patient. Give this day a chance to move around. Much love.
Right on. Take care, everybody. Have a good weekend. And check out, have a YouTube video out this weekend at some point covering the week's action and what we got to look forward to next week. So look for that on YouTube as well.
Right.
Take care.
Talk to you later. Keep it green.
Bye.
Bye.